Boxingego here. If you like this video, make sure you hit the like button and also subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon on the top of your screen to get notified when the latest new content drops. The day after Errol "The Truth" Spence Jr. unifies with Shawn Porter, he critiques his performance and what he needs to do going forward. Stay tuned. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also, subscribe to the channel for the latest and greatest in boxing. If you want to become part of the notification gang, please hit the bell icon. Shout out to the Super Chats channel donations, the Venmo donations, and the Patreon family. We working. Sign up for ESPN Plus below using my link. It helps the channel. I'm an affiliate. Link is in the description of all my videos. Now, a great fight we just witnessed, in my opinion, fight of the year, based on the level of competition, the known commodities, the spectacle, and what it means for the welterweight division. That was Errol Spence Jr. unifying, beating Shawn Porter via split decision. The fight had everything that you really wanted. Both fighters had a ton of heart, threw a ton of punches for their weight class, and it was cracking. You know, I was at the fight in the building at the Staples Center. Great crowd, great energy, and I really enjoyed what I watched. Errol Spence, he won, he unified, split decision. Some of the scorecards, like the actual scorecard numbers, were a bit wide. I think it was a close competitive fight. I'm okay with Errol Spence winning. It could have been a draw. You know, Shawn Porter could have won. It was just that type of fight. I got to watch it again. Errol Spence, he took to his Twitter to kind of critique himself, you know. He said, "Thanks everybody who tuned in. Showtime, Shawn Porter. Tough, he's awkward, strong motherfucker. Showed me a lot more than I thought, LOL." So, you know. And then he said, "Big fish." Now this is the important critique. "Got to keep my weight in control from now on. Ain't nothing cool about blowing up 25 plus pounds and having to spend camp losing that shit." You know, so that's a very strong message. And he says, "No nutritionist or strength and conditioning trainer." So I want to talk about that a little bit. One, I respect both fighters. I respect Errol Spence for being elite, making adjustments, and getting the job done, and then also critiquing himself, because you won. You could just be, I won, I got the belts. But he's still, to me, I like this attitude as a champion. He's saying, okay, maybe that fight was tougher than I expected. Where do we go from here? What could we do? And he's letting it be known. He's letting it be public and letting it be vulnerable. Like, okay, I got to control my weight. Now, this is a critique that we've heard a lot of the fans talk about. They say, oh, Errol Spence, you know, he's blowing up in weight, and that's not good, things like that. And then now you have Errol Spence. He's maybe realizing after how tough and rugged that particular fight was. You have to understand that fights like Shawn Porter, nobody really wants to fight a guy like Shawn Porter, except for like guys like Errol Spence who, you know, want to prove their worth and stuff like that. But I don't know that Errol Spence would want to fight Shawn Porter again, seeing how Shawn Porter doesn't have a belt and it's just rugged, tough. Shawn Porter has the ability to make it look ugly, these types of things. You know, he would probably elect to try to go after the big names, the Danny Garcias and the Manny Pacquiaos, maybe Crawford, guys that he hasn't fought. You know, styles make fights. Shawn Porter just has an awkward, you know, style, ugly style to make it, you know, maybe not your night, or where you don't look as splendid as you normally do. It was a great fight, but I respect this from Errol Spence because he sounds like a perfectionist, where he's trying to improve his craft, and that's what fights like this are for. I think Errol Spence learns a lot from this, and he'll learn more from this fight than he will Carlos Ocampo, definitely, or a fight like Mikey Garcia. You know, no disrespect to them, but Mikey Garcia, Errol didn't have to get into any different gears. He could just, you know, what was working for him continued to work, and it got ugly for Mikey in the 9th round. This was a different fight. This is a type of fight where you can't be pedaling on your bike at one speed, you know. You got to switch it up. And I think both Shawn Porter did that. Shawn Porter, you know, he impressed people because people thought he was going to get laid out and stuff like that. He got dropped one time. maybe the second time in his career. People, just a sidebar, people got to give Adrian Broner credit, bro. He lost the majority of 11 rounds before that, and with one single shot, dropped Shawn Porter with a check left hook to the point where Shawn Porter fell on his butt. Even Errol Spence, big puncher, he dropped Shawn Porter, but he just dipped down his glove touch and he got right back up. And that was a flush, hellacious shot. Shawn Porter got a chin. He definitely got a chin. But if you look at the competition, Danny Garcia never dropped him. Keith Thurman, Kell Brook never dropped him. Broner dropped Shawn Porter the most, I guess you want to say devastating, where it looked like, oh shit. And that was a fight he was losing. This Errol Spence fight was very competitive. So I actually give, Broner must be strong, and he has that explosive speed. For Errol Spence, I like what he's saying though. At this level, after a performance like Shawn Porter, where it wasn't a bad performance or anything. See, and that's the thing. A lot of y'all don't know shit about boxing, so what people are doing is, because you criminally underrate a person like Shawn Porter, the experience he has, amateur and pro, it's easy to say that Shawn Porter had a better resume based on who was willing to fight him and shit than Errol Spence leading into this fight. But because Errol Spence is that dude and the next up, people criminally underrate Shawn Porter and his style and his tenacity, durability. And when the fight is more competitive, then they say Errol Spence got exposed and this is bullshit and robbery and all that. It's none of that. It's just these are two elite motherfuckers with heart and dogging it out, and may the best man win. So to me, I feel like a lot of the fans got to cool it. They keep saying Errol Spence is exposed. Shawn Porter on that night would have beaten a lot of guys, probably dropped them and all types of shit, The way he looked very focused, very motivated, and people gotta understand that takes a bite down gene to have the fight not going your way, a big moment, and then for Errol to pick up the pace and stay in there at that pace and continue the dogfight and the war, the battle of attrition, and produce a pivotal knockdown in the 11th round. So all this exposed shit, I don't believe that. I think Shawn Porter is just, a lot of people didn't give him his just due, and when the fight turned out to be tougher, then now people are shocked. And to a degree, I think Errol Spence might have underrated Shawn Porter. Oh, this motherfucker awkward. See, people do this because it always looks like one way until you get in there with someone. Like Pacquiao, I've been next to him, bro. Pacquiao looked tiny. He looks small as fuck. But whatever he's doing, Pacquiao got 70 plus fucking fights. So whatever he's doing is not as easy as it looks. People just think, oh man, I'm a whoop Pacquiao, like Brandon Rios and Chris Algieri and Jesse Vargas. I'm a champ, man. Pacquiao's old. Pacquiao's small. But it's something he's doing. So I think people have to just appreciate the sport and understand styles make fights, and the matchup is determined by that. So I think even Errol Spence underrated Shawn Porter, because he specifically said Shawn Porter got talent, but he ain't got no skills. But I seen some skills in there, because there were moments where Shawn Porter was outboxing Errol. Like he got on his toes. His footwork is underrated like a motherfucker, bro. Shawn Porter's footwork, just because he was in the way he was spinning out, his back was on the ropes, then he was spinning out and then putting Errol Spence's back on the ropes, and then started landing shots. Shawn Porter got on his toes, started bouncing and moving, and then doubled or tripled up on the jab, and then he bopped Errol Spence's head back. So there were some skills in there, and I don't know if Errol Spence found out on the job and had to make on the job executive decisions. So that made it a good fight. I do think Errol Spence early on got lured into the wrong fight. It was the wrong pace. That was a pace that Shawn Porter likes. You've seen it with Berto. It just makes it uncomfortable, mugging and stuff like that. And I think Shawn Porter had a lot of resentment because some of the stuff that Errol Spence said, he can't sell out a family dinner, man down, I'm gonna be the first to knock him out. So he was just in there with a very motivated Shawn Porter. He said, you ain't got no skill, you just got talent, you fight like you swimming, and he just came. And Shawn Porter almost used Errol Spence's aggression against him, because Errol Spence has a naturally aggressive style, and so does Shawn Porter. So it made it like two cars speeding and veering towards each other like a game of chicken, and had Errol Spence, who has fundamental skills. You don't just get to the Olympics without usually skills. He got lured into an aggressive shootout type of fight with a pace that suited Shawn Porter and what Shawn Porter does. Errol Spence said the post-fight he didn't get lured into it, but in my opinion, I think he got lured into more of a shootout than just a pace that doesn't suit his innate style more than Shawn Porter. Shawn Porter does that, in every fight. Look at how he ran through Paulie Malignaggi, stuff like that. Like, he has that bulldog type of style. So Errol Spence also, people keep saying all this bullshit about Errol. He got dog in him too, because if he didn't, he would have just folded, got knocked down, knocked out, and all types of shit, spilling over, because Shawn Porter was really, first 4 or 5 rounds, really pushing him. But that knockdown was pivotal. It was a good fight. And I think Errol Spence learns more from a fight like this. And I like what he says. He's critiquing himself, and he's saying, man, all right, I can't be blowing up in weight. Guys is coming for me. Guys is trying to take something I have. And that was a good fight. And I maybe underestimated a guy. It's not going, at the elite level, people aren't just going to lay down for me, Every fight's not going to look like Ocampo or, that's a good picture of all of them. So every fight's not going to look at like Ocampo or Lamont Peterson with guys out there like Shawn Porter style. So let me keep my weight in check and, keep it pushing. So I respect what Errol is saying. Having a fat camp where you have to focus primarily on cutting weight and train hard in the sauna suit, that's dope, but it don't work for everybody. So it's better to just keep your weight closer to what you need to be than to balloon too much, and then now you got to have a long ass camp or do more, have a fat camp for the first, where you could work on strategy right away. Like if you're Floyd Mayweather, he can work on strategy instantly, because he actually is one of the throwback fighters, him and Pacquiao, that work on fighting close to their fight weight. You never see Pacquiao like 193 and shit like that. I never seen Pacquiao like that. I never see Floyd 200 pounds like Ricky Hatton. Winky Wright used to even balloon up. He said he liked Krispy Kreme donuts or some shit on one of the HBO 24/7s. So I like it, and I think this is the type of fight that makes Errol Spence greater, because he can learn from it and see what he, pick apart what he did that he liked and what he feels he can improve upon. And what he's already saying is, man, okay, let me get my weight closer to what I'm at, and I don't have no nutrition, and maybe he should get a strength and conditioning coach, because Shawn Porter's cardio was insane. And there were spots where I give Errol a lot of credit, because I could tell he was tired and he was pushing through it because he's a champion. But if Errol didn't have that championship spirit and the heart that he has, then the fight could have went way left. But luckily Errol is a dog too, and he had that fighter warrior spirit, and he just bit down. But it was a fight where he definitely had to bite down and make some adjustments, which he did. So to me, I don't look at it like Errol was exposed and all this bullshit that people are saying. I think more so this is just a fight that he can learn from, and people just underrated Shawn Porter's ability to make it a difficult fight, and not. Some people think Shawn Porter won. Some people think it could have been a draw or was a draw. Some people think Errol won. Some people don't know. It was just that it was a good fight. It was a classic, instant classic. I loved it. I respect Errol Spence and what he's saying about keeping his weight down, and we'll see. His next fight is probably going to be Danny Garcia, they're saying, on pay-per-view. He's a pay-per-view star. He has 2 belts, the most in the welterweight division, because Keith Thurman, no longer undefeated, no longer has a belt. He was the guy that had 2 belts, and let's see how he defends as a unified champion now. Now he has the bullseye in his back. And this is good, because Errol Spence, for a long time, couldn't get no real fights, couldn't get no work, because of how he was looking. He was looking like destructive. Now you see Danny Garcia jumping in the ring, and when he was fighting Chris Algieri and stuff, people didn't want to fight against Errol Spence, because he just, damn, Chris Algieri got stopped. He's like 5'11". Pacquiao didn't stop him. Ruslan Provodnikov, Emmanuel Taylor didn't stop him, and then Errol just ran through him. You know what I'm saying? And he's a durable guy and a nutritionist. So now Errol Spence, you know, he has to keep his weight down. That's what he's saying. Because people are coming and people are like, okay, that's the fight game. The fight game is dangerous. They look at that. Like, listen to Tyson Fury's last fight was tough. I talked to Wilder. You know, I was there at his media scrum or whatever, and he like, man, that cut finna open up. Oh my God, I promise you that cut will open up on Tyson Fury's his eyelid. The cut was longer than his eyebrow. You know, and now that becomes a point of contention. This is boxing. This is what happened. So Errol Spence, he has the right idea. He said something like, I'm gonna get right back in camp. You know, maybe get a strength and conditioning coach. He didn't really say that, but manage my weight. It's important. At this elite level, it's important because guys are coming with it and they want what you have. Errol Spence is starting to be the rising name, selling out 14, 15, 16,000, and he feeling himself, getting some jewelry. Now people are like, all right, I want that now. This is how boxing works. And then off of the Shawn Porter, it's about perception. People's perception is like, okay, we seen Errol Spence look more human, and he had some cuts and bruising over his face, and he was getting tired in certain spots. So now people are gonna think, you know, shit is sweet. So Errol got to remind him that styles make fights, and that was just a tough dude. And that's what I think it was. I think Shawn Porter on that given night, it would have gave anybody problems at the welterweight division. You know, he was matadoring Errol Spence, pivoting, spinning out. He's just insanely motivated. So let me know what you guys think. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. But I like Errol Spence, the fact that he's critiquing his own self. He's not waiting to read comments and shit. He's doing what he feels he needs to do next. He said, you know, that blowing up 25 plus pounds, that's cap. And you've seen Terrence Crawford just tweeted. I did a video about it. Terrence Crawford said he's food. So that's another person who maintains a certain threshold of weight. You can't keep Terrence Crawford out the gym. So I think Errol Spence just realizes at the elite level, you know, especially after going through a tough fight, then, you know, I got to manage my weight because cardio is part of it. You know, how much wind you got. These dudes ain't all gonna fall like Leonard Bundu and have no answers at the highest of levels, and that's where Errol plans to keep competing. So I respect the honest assessment. Let me know what you guys think. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. You know, I'll be working on some videos and uploading a lot of content. So if you're new, consider subscribing. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. Make sure you smash the like button. As always, hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video is Ego signing off. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button, and you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxingego, the future of boxing.